All right. People, we're here with Jason.
Yeah.
Jason Downer is an amazing gentleman that we're going to learn about. We're going to get in and we're going to figure out what makes this man tick. Because he's done some amazing things and I want to know why. And I know you want to know why. So Jason, big up yourself.
Big up, big up, big up.
Thank you very much for sitting with Good News Jamaica.
Thanks for Good News finding it fit to have me on their program.
Oh man, you got our attention. You got our attention with the things that you've been doing.
Well, I can't be mixed easily.
so there's that, right? Yeah. But I mean, all of that is full of love, I'm sure.
Right.
So the first thing I want to talk about is the most obvious, Mogava, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me first of all, where you get the name from?
It was over 5 years ago when I recognized in my mind that maybe the church is not as vocal on issues that are social as I think they should be, because I believe Christ was very interested in the injustices that the people face. Mm-hmm. And so and also abuse was high, etc. And I spoke to a friend about it, and he wanted to go through a long route in getting lawyers and stuff. So I said, no, I want to start. I want to start now. We can build as we go along. Right. And at first, he and I, we worked out a name. And hence we got Mogava, Men of God Against Violence and Abuse. Other persons suggested that we take after Men of God. And I said no, because I say it wouldn't sell, it wouldn't hit, because it has to do with God. And I said no.
Really?
Because for
in Jamaica,
yeah,
these people were saying that in Jamaica, I'm going to turn towards it.
Yeah, no problem.
In Jamaica, people were saying that this Jamaica that has more churches per capita.
Yes, they said that some people wouldn't take on to it. Let's call it something else, but not Men of God.
Okay, so let me get this right. What you're talking about are just a small handful of people that would say this.
Yeah, but a handful of persons in the church. These are
Stop.
these are persons who are in the secular. These are persons, pastor, who say, boy, change the name because maybe you'll be sidelined because of it. But no. And we ran with it, and that's got significant mileage.
I am so happy that you stuck with it.
Yes.
Because it is significant.
It's very important. It's very important.
You are a man of God.
Yes.
You are a Jesus follower.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So why deny?
I think they're I don't know. I think they believe that it being men of God would speak to just getting in spirit, and people will shy away from it because I don't know. I mean,
but okay. So I'm gonna be Isn't it your deeds that you're checked on?
Should be.
Okay.
Should be. But
Okay. What is Men of God against violence and abuse?
Mogava.
What is it for? What is the outlook of Mogava?
Well, it exists. It's an arm of Operation Save Jamaica. So we align ourselves with Operation Save Jamaica. Mm-hmm. They're the overarching body, right? Mm-hmm. We exist primarily to mobilize men to play their rightful roles in society.
Okay.
Especially where fatherhood/mentorship is concerned.
Okay. Pause. Stop. Stop.
Yeah.
You hear this, people? Very important.
Vital.
Where you're talking about, especially where fatherhood is concerned.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have a whole heap of daddy out there now. We have a whole heap of man that...
We have a whole heap of donors.
Donors.
Not downer, donors. Donors. Yes.
But we don't have a lot of doers.
No.
And you have taken on that mandate.
Yes. So while because we realize, statistics will show the number one prediction of crime and violence is fatherlessness. Yeah. And fatherlessness, people need to know, does not necessarily mean that a child don't know who daddy is or that dad don't live in the home. Right. It means the absence of that quality relationship. Right. Which should be modeled as well. Especially with this generation of millennials. You know, growing up, if some persons, your father and tell you them love you, it might bother not so bad because you see him provide for you and do those things.
Right.
But this generation, they want to hear you say it. They want the hug, the emotional attachment. And so that is important. And so while we have seen a rise in terms of, I believe, more men, maybe because they never have it, they have taken on this responsibility to say, I'm going to be there for my child. So there has been an increase. So
okay, because I wanted to ask that question. Has there been an increase?
Yeah, man.
Because I remember in the 80s,
it was really bad.
Daddies weren't around, bro.
Yeah, you understand? And it has increased. However, there's still much more to be done. And so this whole saying that, you know, Jamaica have a serious fatherhood problem, to some extent it's true. Okay. But we need to highlight the positive that there are a lot of men who are really taking up their role and responsibility, and not for their own child, but others. So this typical term jacket, you know, a lot of men with full suit, and you know, so that suit them get, and them say, no, I take care of that suit, yeah. Right. I carry the cleaners, I do what I need to do, and step up. So that's on the rise, and we have to applaud those men for that. And also what I realize is that a lot of men who aren't playing their role right, a lot of them don't know better. So when we approach them and we say, boy, them now but the father they should be, and we approach them and start to lamb blast them and do all kind of thing, that's further pushing them away.
That's true.
As opposed to approaching them and say, listen, man, you know, what's your view of being a father? Many things say, boy, I provide for him. But it's no longer just being a provider and protector, it also now means to be a nurturer.
That's right.
So this thing of traditional you need to the woman to be the nurturer, men need to recognize that you are a part of that process as well.
So that leads to the other thing that got me drawn to Mugabe, which is this Amazing Dads series.
Yeah.
If you have not seen Amazing Dads, go find it.
Yes.
Right? Go find it. Is it on YouTube?
Not as yet, unfortunately.
Where are you going?
And this is where good news come in.
Hey, listen, anything.
Yes.
If I can get the series, we can put it on Good News Jamaica TV.
Yeah, man. It is groundbreaking. A lot of season 2 is expected to come up anytime soon.
Stop. Tell me about Amazing Dads.
Well,
what is it that you do in Amazing Dads?
We highlight,
for them that don't.
We highlight fathers.
What does that mean?
I mean, we highlight fatherhood with different fathers from different social class, all walks of life in Jamaica. Right. So in season 1 we had a barber, we had a taxi operator, we had a man who was very rich and made a transition to a different profession, went through a phase. He's now a farmer. We have interviewed several persons to highlight the common things which has to do with fatherhood, that regardless of your circumstances, that you have a responsibility to your child. We look at single fathers, we look at a father who uses the term co-parenting because himself and the child's mother is no longer together. We look at all of those and all the variables. In order to highlight that this is happening in Jamaica, and also to use it as a platform to encourage those fathers who are deadbeat dads, you know, that you have no excuse.
What has been the byproduct of Amazing Dads?
In terms of the feedback?
Yeah.
Fabulous. I mean, the buy-in has been great.
Yeah.
A lot of people have asked for it. We have gone into communities and showed it. And we're waiting to bring it to the diaspora, because one of the things also we want to look at, a kind of preempting season 2, but we want to look at the whole thing of fathering from abroad. Because one of the things that we recognize, we have a lot of barrel kids. And migration has also played a part.
A big part.
And I think what we need, sometimes people migrate for good reasons. Sometimes man want to go away because they want to provide.
Right.
But we're saying when you go away, there are still some things you can do and still having a presence. Which leads, for example, you're away, you can utilize technology. I remember growing up, my mother had to travel for years. She'd be missing for months and years. I never have FaceTime, I never have WhatsApp.
Right, exactly.
She used to say, boy, I call her a week from before. I said, go down so and so, I'm going to call. I used to have this telephone. Now technology is there and there are ways to do it. Same way, we bring similar message in the prison with a program called Fathering Behind Bars. That even though you're incarcerated.
Stop. How am going to throw that in there like that?
I mean,
come on, seriously. When we come back, we'll hear more about this Fathering While in Prison program that Mogava has put on. And I mean, how can you just throw that in? Anyway, when we come back, we'll get into that. You think we're going to really let him get away with that? Stay tuned.
I like Good News Jamaica because it's positive and it's different from everything else. People should join Good News Jamaica because they can get paid to do something good, something that's true. I would share Good News Jamaica with other people because I want other people to know good things that Jamaicans are doing all over Jamaica.
Okay. Fathering behind bars?
Yes. That was birthed from a personal experience.
Talk to me about that.
Now, when I was, of course, I was born, I never come see my daddy.
Okay.
I hear about him.
Okay.
And I had a brother who was 1 year older than me, blacker than me, but we had the same last name. And something just couldn't add up. When we found out that my father met my mother when I think she was pregnant with him, and the type of person he was, he took on the responsibility that I needed to get this boy identity. So he gave him his last name, which is Downer. When I turned 4, his father would come every 2 years or whatever it is, and he would bring some goodies. And I asked my mom, where is my father? And she said, they're foreign too. I mean, back then, when you say father, they're foreign, they expect goodies. No goodies not come for me. So when I was about 7 or 8, I asked the question again, and that's when she told me that he was in prison.
Okay.
And I couldn't understand it because bad people go to prison. Yet my mother never spoke ill about my father. My cousins, nobody who knew him spoke anything negative. Until my sister went and visited him. And he would send a message to her. She was old at the time because it was said then that when you're under 13, you could not visit. Or you're under 18, you could not visit. And so my older sister would go and he would send a message to them. No, I was embarrassed for a while until the Lord, growing up embarrassed, until the Lord, after a while, spoke to my heart. And I looked back because my father came out at 13. By the time he came out, while I never met him before, I kind of knew him because he would send a message. So it made it easier for the transition in terms of the relationship. And after going and entering teaching and doing other things and realizing there are a lot of boys whose fathers, and girls whose fathers, they're incarcerated. But these fathers believe that somehow they have failed as opposed to I am failing by not doing anything.
Right.
And so I said, if my father, without any form of knowledge, just reached out to me through my sister, can you imagine if we go in, talk to the men who are incarcerated and let them understand that your role and responsibility, while limited, because you're in a locked up space, you still can have some impact. In fact, use your disadvantage to your advantage, because you now can teach your son
Not
about what not to do.
Yeah, man.
And so we went in, we partnered with LASCO, we went in and we did a training program, a 10-week training program. We started off with 20 inmates, we ended up with 32. I had to cut it off because the men were just coming.
Wow.
And we did a 10-week training program, we had a graduation on November the 19th, 2015. November the 19th is International Men's Day. And we had the media coming, and it was an emotional time. It was a grand time as well because we pretty much fed the prison because LASCO came in with the food. Each participant got a certificate, which for many is the first accomplishment they have ever received, and to know that I did this for my child, for myself, yes, but also for my child. It was a big deal. Each participant got flip-flops, personal care items, and these things are gold.
Oh, you mean?
If you're in a prison, by the way.
Oh, you mean?
Yeah, that's that. It was really a success. We had the success stories because of the program. One inmate said, the program impacted me so much. He was locked up for 6 or 7 years, and his daughter was graduating from high school. She was graduating. And he said, you know what, I want to be there for my daughter. And he wrote and he requested that if he could be allowed to visit. Of course, he was allowed, but escorted.
Of course.
But not in a way that it's obvious.
Right.
And when she saw him, her mouth dropped. Another one, a part of the program speak about the fact that even though you're locked up, your love can never be bound, you know.
Right.
And so one man who has never told his son that he loved him, told his son that for the first time.
Wow.
And you know, the connection that it created. And the feedback right now, we're looking to go into Tambourine Farm prison, and we're also go to other prison with the program as well, because it's big.
Well, let me just put this on camera right now.
Yeah.
You don't have to ask Good News Jamaica.
Yeah, man.
We're dead.
Yeah, man. Definitely.
You understand?
It's good news.
We're there. It is very good news.
Good news.
Listen, no, I'm serious. If any support that we can give, we're there.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Yeah, man. Respect.
Because that is something close to our heart. Because I grew up in Washington, D.C., where the majority of my friends and myself was without a father. Whether they were dead or in jail, that were the two options. The people I grew up with, there was no, your dad lives somewhere else and you know he's no, dead or in jail.
Wow.
You understand? I was the anomaly because my father knew my father. He lived in Jamaica, and if I wanted,
and
to,
they
I
knew
could
your
go-
father too.
Well, some of them.
Meaning know who that is.
Remember, it's Washington D.C.
Yeah, well,
so
there you go.
there were a lot of Americans there and things. All the Jamaicans knew who my dad was, but you know, it was like that. And if they had access to their fathers who were in prison,
Yeah.
it would have been a different story altogether.
Yeah, and these men, the truth is, most of these men, these fathers who are incarcerated, they will be reintroduced to society.
Yeah.
So all we're simply saying is, you're in prison. First thing we talk about is the fact that you're not around your child. Whether you're a friend, whether you're innocent, whatever it is,
Right.
you have a reason to apologize.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Don't get defensive about it.
Right.
And then now, start by using the medium of communication, whether it's a letter, whether it's phone call, whether it's visitation, so that if and when you are released, the reconnection would have started.
That's right.
And the transition is easier.
Huh.
And trust me, and just doing this, then I started to do research, and I find that there are 1 and 2 other programs, especially overseas, where people do it. Right now, we're lining up to do a series of talks, because we want to do a series of talks, hopefully in the diaspora, to go and talk to the inmates. We might not get to run the entire program, but we can do some motivational talks. So listen, I know you feel that you're disappointed. You feel disappointed and you let down your youth, but you're letting down your youth. You can do something about it. You can do some damage control.
That's right.
And so start the process. My father, when he came out, and he told me some stuff about prison, just the fact that he tell me, I don't want to go.
Logic.
I don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And I think it's a part of what we can use to solve the wider crime problem. If we utilize more for rehabilitated inmates, to come and to have dialogue with some of them. Because the truth is, I've never had a brush with a law outside a speeding ticket. Now, when I go and talk to a youth about use of marijuana or certain risky behavior in terms of the gun or whatever it is, I mean, I'm not really listen. You might hear me I say, but it's like a brush off after a while.
I've seen that live and direct.
You know, it's not going to be impact.
Live and direct. I went to have a talk with some youngsters and talk about gangsterism and, you know, them time there, you'd get jumped in and stuff like that. And I knew that what I had to say, even though it would be the same as somebody else having to say it, would not have any impact. So I called for my brethren, who had just come out.
That's the way to do it.
Him standing there alone.
Yeah, that's alone.
Brother, no, I'm serious because him look the part. You understand? And when one kid started to act up, him take him straight on and say, let me tell you something. Anyhow, you come out prison, you know.
Exactly. We had a, and because of that relationship, we have an ongoing thing with the prison. Because of just that program.
Yes.
And it's surprising how the program started, you know. We had a thing called pop-up displays. So what we recognizing the whole issue of fatherhood and stuff like that being an issue, we went to certain towns, and in the morning, the peak hours, I would go across the stoplight with placards about fatherhood and stuff. And in 2014, remember I tell you that program took place November. There about the 2015, 2014, the Christmas 2014, and as a Christian, I remember the Lord saying to me, "Bring the pop-up display to Sting." So I go, it's all right. So I went and find Mr. Leng, and Mr. Leng, X and X. Mr. Leng said, "All right, come, get a booth," and we went. I told him I needed some time on stage. At this time, go back the bus. And thing, you know. And we went and said, "All right, you're the first person to go on stage at Sting at 8. But we got nobody know they Sting at 8 o'clock."
Right, of course.
So I said, "Well, we can't go up that time." So we ended up, Sting, no, the crowd, that Sting is very boisterous and stuff. And we went up about 1 a.m.
Wow.
We went on with our placards. And we spoke about fatherhood, and then we said we needed a minute of silence for those who have been victims at the hands of their fathers. You could have dropped a pin. No, in my mind, that act would spread wide, even to the diaspora, for them to get the message. The following week, the early January, I should say, early in January, I was on a radio program, because I host a radio program called Parent to Parent. And somebody called in, and he was saying, boy, he would want to have more relationship with his child, more contact with his child, but he can't due to his situation. Anyway, he revealed that he was incarcerated, and he was allowed to call in through the commissioner of corrections, not the commissioner, the superintendent at the time. And the long and short of it is, we ended up visiting. After getting to know them, I asked him, "How did you hear about us, Mugaba?" He said the first time he heard about us, it was through seeing us on stage at Sting. Don't ask me how he see us, but he saw us. And he said, "I had to get in touch with that group. I had to get to know them," and the rest is history. And so right now we met with the Commissioner of Corrections, we met with everybody who is in charge, and the correction services, the facilities are open up to us to bring in our program. So we sponsor the quiz program and stuff like this. So yeah, we have an ongoing relationship.
All right. Now we've gone through some. My favorite word is amazing. You will notice that. I just
yes.
But who's Jason Downer?
Well, Jason is first and foremost a servant. You know, I like to tell people, as a pastor, ordained pastor, I like to.
Okay, so you just drop that one in there, just very, very cool.
Yeah, I mean.
What do you mean ordained pastor?
I'm a pastor. He's a pastor at church. Well, now read it. It's 240. A couple of years to 40.
Oh, what you say?
Yeah, man. But ordained pastor. But I think I've always had the call of God in my life from as young as I could remember. Part of youth fellowship, youth leader. About 2021, wanted to become a pastor because I felt that calling. But I always sensed that the Lord. I said, no man, there was more to it. Because I grew up in a very conservative church. Until I went through Youth for Christ, and then it broadened my horizon, and thereafter, pastor church. But then the Lord said there was more to it. There's more to reach in the reached. And so the appetite just opened up, and then the whole thing of outreach, finding that niche, a target audience started. And then I realized that a lot of people, especially in Jamaica, when they think of pastor, they think it's somebody that they serve, as opposed to the pastor serving them.
Right.
And so the first thing I do when I introduce myself, some of my pastor friends have a problem with it, is that I'm Jason Downer. And they would say, "No, I'm a pastor," and tell them that they're a pastor. And I said, I don't want to introduce myself that way first, because people get defensive. I like to know people for who they are. Just like with me, what you see is what you get. You know, so I'm first a servant. I love to help people. I love people. I'm a husband. My January coming will be 13 years.
Wow, congrats.
I have 3 children. Went from 1 to 3. I don't know God do the maths there, but
hey, him know what I do.
10.
Right?
Then I get twins, boy and girl twins.
I like it.
3-year-old twins. I serve at Jamaica College, so I'm in charge of a part of the senior management there.
Okay.
In charge of boarding. Now the beautiful thing about Jamaica College is it's the work of Mugabe that caused me to be there. So when they started a boarding facility, they wanted a family or somebody. And when the interview process started, they said, boy, they want my wife as well. And so my wife works up there as well. So we serve up there. And so I'm one of the few persons who, my 9 to 5 is also my ministry. So whatever it is that, it's not just theory. So having studied theology and guidance and counseling, you know, it's not just theory. Practically, I live what I say. And I get to sharpen the skill set because I literally have to father up to 70 boys at any given time. So I get to sharpen the skill set. And it's not just what I learned in our book. So,
do you find that your propensity is to boys?
Yeah.
Because I notice it, you know, I know, because I've lived it, that boys need a lot of help.
Yeah, man.
Right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So, do you find, whether it's Mugabe or, you know, we don't talk about Mugabe now, we're talking about you now. Do you feel like you're drawn to bringing up and helping boys?
And let me tell you, and I look behind me, in hindsight, I say a trail. So I entered the teaching profession as a pre-trained teacher. And then at St. Aloysius Primary. Then I left from there and I went to Emmanuel Christian Academy and started studying while there. But while there, I remember having a workshop called Growing Up Boys. I put on things like Mr. Downer's drumming and mentorship. You know, I've always had that thing, but I didn't know at the time that I was on a path to this focus as it relates to male. So I am what you call a male, teenage and adolescent male advocate. I focus on males primarily.
Okay.
And I stay in my lane. I encourage and I talk to young ladies as well. But the focus is really male. That's my lane. I personally believe if you fix the males in our society,
women will follow. It will.
Yeah, it's like
always.
Yeah, so that's where I'm at. That's where the calling is. As a result of this calling, you know, you give up a role as assistant pastor. Still a pastor, still a reverend, but it's more in an outreach type. And give me this energy of a preaching to people. Give me molding lives. Give me getting boys from one point to another, and then releasing them to the world. Give me that any day. Any day.
It's amazing.
Yeah, man. So that's what the thing is.
Because, you know, you hear pastors and their whole thing is they want to spread the word. They want to say the word to the congregation, but you're not that. You're saying give me the work.
Yeah, give me the work.
Give me the hands. Let me get my hands dirty so that when I plant these seeds,
man,
you can water them and see them grow
and already it's happening. You know. You see, the thing about it too is, with these boys, you have to be pastor, have to be father, have to be many things to them. It's a 24-hour-a-day job, a responsibility. And then with Mugabe now, you know, it's also a part of what it is. So I am wired for this. People ask, how you do it? I mean, it's intrinsic. It's just a part of it.
It's not work.
You know, it's not work. It's not work at all. So I love it. I love the stress that it brings as well. You know?
Of course.
But very importantly though is, when you're working with the youth in this regard, you have to model. It's not about telling them.
That's right.
It's about modeling. And I too, when I started, I had to take a step back and recognize that my approach is vital. So the first thing I've learned is to always listen.
That's right.
To the boy's story.
Yeah.
And recognize that there's always the reaction, the behavior, there's always a reason for it.
Yeah.
Could be good or bad, you know. But listen and be fair. Balance being firm and being gentle at the same time. And I realized that's gone a far away. So with my boys, I hug them, I play with them, we wrestle. You know, they're used to that now. The first time they hear me say, I love you, and they say, oh yes, I saw your mother, you love me. I say, I love you now.
That's right.
The other day I spoke at a school, and I said to the boys at school in Spanish now, and I said to the boys, was talking about love, and I said, sir, what do you mean? I said, yeah, I'm a love man. So what do you mean you love man? You can't say that, sir. I said, hold on. I love my father, isn't he a man? My son, etc., etc., etc. I said, I love man. I'm not going to cause society to allow me to change my way of thinking. I ain't doing that. And
so let's pause right there for a minute.
Hello, my name is Daniel, and I love Good News Jamaica. because it speaks news about them, about Jamaicans, and I think that that Good News Jamaica is going to do a good job of doing it, and I hope that Good News Jamaica doesn't have any problems with anything. That's what I think about Good News Jamaica.
So you were saying you're not going to allow society to...
No, even this whole thing of people that say two. Oh, no, say two. No, why not?
My friend, as something where me can stand.
Why not? So.
And Manchester.
Yeah.
And Montego.
Yeah. And all that. No, I ain't changing for nobody. I ain't changing for nobody.
Hello. Me like this man. Me like this man.
And so when our boys... you see, I'm in a very privileged position to impact boys.
Yeah.
I mean, when I get a boy at 11, because I have boys from as young as 11 to 18, 19.
Yeah.
And when I get a young man and I'm able to mold him, it's a beautiful thing, you know. It's to see him transform.
It's like a canvas.
Yes, man.
It can create whatever.
Yeah, it is. And then now, I'm at a place now when I get a little first farmer, and the mother is like, you know, can I call him every day? Can I so and so every day? And I can tell her what exactly is going to happen over the next year. I unfold just like I said, Mommy, at this point, you know, him going through transition in terms of puberty and high school and stuff, you're going to be getting the calls for the first couple of weeks, but thereafter you're going to ask him why isn't he calling you.
Right, exactly.
You know, and I laid those things. I know I have parents who are now past that stage. They say, "Why, Mr. Downer, you remember when X and X and X and X?"
Yes.
One of the typical thing I hear also from a lot of, especially single mothers, is, Mr. Downer, when he be in a high school, when he be in a primary school, you know, I was his best friend. But now I don't know what happened. He not talk to me. Well, what happened is puberty.
Yes.
What happened is you're no longer the main influencer in his life. And so one of the things we recognize is that because of the absence of fathers, what happens in many instances, when the child has reached puberty and his main influence is his peer, and there's no daddy, it creates a problem. And sometimes the mothers now try to call the father and say, come talk to your son, and come take him now. But the father has no moral authority at that point in time.
Right, of course.
And so it creates a lot of problems. So I bridge a lot of those gaps. It can become overwhelming at times because then the word spread. Say, yeah, Mr. Don up there, so so other schools call and other stuff. And so what I realized that there are men of like mind. That what we need to do also is train these men. Because I've gotten other training in South, well, I went to Colombia for a program called The World Needs a Father, where we come back and train other persons as it relates to some skill set and stuff. So one of the things we're trying to do now is to train others. Because you can't be a father to everybody.
Exactly.
And that's the reality. And so it's one of the areas we encourage the church. I mean, everybody can't fight for have a TV slapped. I mean, and it's expensive. So we're saying, if you have that money and you see that that area of ministry is being serviced, we need a nice school. Devotion alone not doing it. This clapping and praying alone, good. But alone, it's not working.
Right.
Our guidance counselors are overworked. The dean of disciplines, they have a lot of work. So if we can get skilled persons who they have the passion, even missionaries who have a skill set, we get them to go in and, for example, we have a program called School Fathers. That's another program in itself. So, you know, but you have to have the personnel around you.
Of course.
You have to have the and the good thing about, while you can say I'm the face of Mogaba with Courtney Morrison. That's
the guy with the locks. Okay.
Yeah. There are other persons who. That's why we're able to do so many things, and networking is key. Because it's not about trying to pop your collar and say, boy, look what I have accomplished. The work is there to be done, but you don't want to reinvent the wheel. So you have persons of like mind, etc. You get them on board and you get the word out. Yeah. But we love it, man.
Well, it definitely is obvious that you love it. No, with all of this thing, it seemed like you are 24 hours take over. So what do you do for leisure? What do you do? I mean,
All right, I'm going to tell you this. It's a delicate balance that you have to find. I haven't perfected it yet. Because one thing that also came to me is that you can't try to save other people and lose your family.
True.
So I have now learned when to shut off certain things.
Okay.
And because people around me know that I care and that I love them, they know that when I shut off, I shut off. And that unless it's an absolute emergency. Also, I've learned to listen to my wife more. So, you know, so I listen to her and you know, she calling for more time. So we try to have little date nights.
Beautiful.
You know, so you see, a part of being a mentor is that I have to be mentored.
Yeah.
So I don't have a mentor. I have several mentors.
Right, right.
Because each mentor themselves have strengths and weaknesses. And so I surround myself with people too who can rein me in. Who say, listen man, you're going too fast.
Right.
Or I say to my wife, tell him to go sit down.
Right.
So I have those people around me. It's very important because I'll keep going and going. And it helps that you're hyperactive.
Yeah, right.
So being hyperactive, I'm not easily tired like that. I keep going and going. Which speaks to another point. That growing up and you're hyperactive, when you talk a lot, they're gonna say, boy, you chat so much, or you can't keep still. It's not my disadvantage, it's not my advantage.
That's right. That's right.
Because I can talk and put in space at any given time, I'm able to talk.
Right.
And because of the energy that I have, it helps with so many things that I do.
You know, it's interesting you brought that up because, you know, you have the whole opiates and the ADHD and all these things that they're so easy to assign drugs to a child that is hyperactive. How is it that you being at JC, I'm sure you see kids that you can't sit still.
Oh, yes.
Can't sit still.
Oh, yeah.
And it's an all-boys school. So, I mean, obviously they have to change their way of delivering information. How do you see that in the rest of Jamaica, though, when it comes to dealing with hyperactive children?
Wow. I think, first of all, I think as parents we need to know our children, our parenting level. Secondly, as it relates to the teachers, you see, unfortunately, it's a mixture in terms of some teachers see it as a passion, so they'll go an extra mile to understand the child. Some will just sit and just say the child just rude, or you know, and sometimes the truth of the matter is the child can't really help himself. Yeah, case in point, there was a boy I had who every instruction I gave, he opposed it. I was defiant. I'm like, what is happening here? Long and short is he got psychologically evaluated. He had what is called ODD. Oppositional defiant disorder.
There's a thing.
I'm like, what is
There's
that?
a thing. So what? So in other words, if you tell him don't do it, he will do it.
Yeah. If you tell yes.
So then, if you want him to do the homework, you tell him don't do your homework, and he will do the homework.
But the thing about it though, he will know. He knows when you're using reverse psychology on him. Because he knows naturally that homework is expected. So I can't say don't do your homework. Right. So those things he's fine with, but generally, other things, man, they have problems, man. Oppositional defiance disorder.
Wow.
I've
never heard of that before.
Yeah, man, everything have a name now, you know.
So I'm going to put that on the screen. There's going to be a definition.
Yeah, man. But being in this field, I have to work closely with teachers and parents and being a part of senior management at the school. And so the dean of discipline, I have to work closely with them. So I get to see things, hear things, talk with the boys, because sometimes the boys will talk to me about things that they wouldn't necessarily talk to the dean about and stuff like that. And the thing about it, I have to change hats too.
Of course.
So sometimes I have to be the disciplinaire, and sometimes I have to be the best friend, sometimes I have to be the chaplain and stuff like that. My office or my space at times is like a melting pot. Parents too, they come and they share intimate details. I have to be there, I have to listen. So this is one of the reasons why too, I could no longer be a pastor in terms of the traditional sense, because it took just all of my time. And I enjoy it more than actually sitting in a church and preaching to people. Now I still do a lot of speaking engagement. I still have to do that, and I still go to church as much as I can and bring the boys to church. But a lot of the times I have to bring the church to people. And that in itself takes a lot too.
Do you find that you get a better response when you bring the church to people?
Yeah, because you tailor to the audience in terms of not necessarily the message, but your method in delivery.
No, but I mean the reception from them. Do you find that their reception is better when the church is brought to them?
Yeah, man. Yeah, because
experientially rather
yeah,
than,
man. Yeah, because one persons appreciate the fact that you take the time to come. You know? Let me tell you that, and we have to know more than ever, because the truth is, people not going to church as well they should.
Yeah.
I can't point to the exact site, but checks will reveal that in terms of data, there's a reduction in terms of church attendance. And it's not going to get any better, because it's this thing called Flexi Week that's coming. Less people going to go to church. You know, the Benjamin Graham does. So what do you do? In fact, what you find happening now, you have more home churches popping up. So aside from the little things that want happening at church, a lot of church hurt and all of that, and people are more focused on the edifices, the big buildings than anything else, and people are turned off by that. You find that people are just generally better in small settings because it's more interactive, it's more relational. So with my boys, we go to church like one time out of the month, then we have in-house, and then we might get a visitor. But one of the things we try to do is we prep whoever is going to deliver. So listen, I don't want you speaking over the head. You have to take a life story approach and fuse it with the gospel. You understand? And talk to the youth them. For example, my boys have to talk I have to talk to them about masturbation. I talk to them about porn. I talk to them about all these things. And talk to them not just about what is expected, it's about my struggles. And the youth them sit down and listen, because them are normal. I never get that. I mean, when I was in church, you dare not tell somebody, say, boy, you feel horny, if you understand the term, or you know, you dare not tell us you're demon possessed. No, it's not true. So what I tell my boys is that, listen, the fact that you feel that way, it means that, boy, you're wired real, you know. But guess what? There are certain things that you must do and certain things you must not do. And talk to them about that and stuff like that. And they appreciate it. It brought me to tears once when a boy came to me and said, sir, thanks for taking the time to talk to me. I couldn't talk to anyone about this. It got me emotional because I never had nobody to talk to. Sex was tabooed in church. So I get to deal with the youth them on a level, man, and it's very rewarding, brethren. It's very rewarding.
How is your life itself, and we'll soon wrap up, but how is your life itself impacting your own children?
Well, I have to give them their time. So I ensure that I do that. But I think how I relate to people, it's causing them to be more understanding. Also in terms of kindness, they're more willing to share. Things like these. But I'm also I would love my kids to grow up, and especially my son, and to carry on what I do. But I also have to understand that he has his own identity, etc., and support them in that regard. You know, but I try to give them their time. Not only will I have them, but they're different age groups. I have the twin, and I have the 9, soon to be 10-year-old, and I recognize that I also have to give her special time. So there's a lot of time splitting. It's a lot of work, but thank God for hyperactivity. Praise God.
All right, I want to leave on a funny note, right? Tell me something from your childhood. I'm going to pick out something. This, I'm just going to take a chance, right? But tell me something from your childhood that was just absolutely crazy, like the scar over your eye. How you get that?
How many get that scar? Yeah.
No, but you must remember that.
I can tell you, I get this.
Okay, tell me how you get that.
Well, you know, say, I was in a hockey tree. I was very young. For some reason, I hung upside down like a rat bat.
Then I must.
You know, and I didn't just fall.
Your bones?
Well, because the bones, because the thing I fell on, there was no way to bounce. I fell on a weights.
Oh, good.
Good. Wonderful. That's good news. That's good. So, why? And it just...
It split.
Yeah, I remember that vividly.
but you don't remember this big old scar that's over your eyebrow?
No, I don't remember this one, you know. I don't remember this
and
one.
It go from here, so all the way over.
I remember, maybe that's how impactful it was. I don't know. It's just, not so, but remember, I broke my hand, I play rugby.
Yeah.
Rugby at the time I used a juice bottle primary school.
Yes, of course, yes.
I run and a man see me in the air and kick me out there, I just land on the hand, you know?
Yes, man. And turn it into a kickstand.
Yeah, that's in a
Yes,
flop.
man.
So yeah, you know, but you know, I'm now happy for them.
Of course.
Yeah, because you know, it taught me a lot, and it's a part of life.
That's right.
So like when my son all fall down, you know, encourage him to fall, he want to cry.
Yeah.
But I said, son, it's part of growing up. You have lots more of that to come.
See.
Yeah, man. So give thanks.
Thank you very much for meeting with us.
Thanks for having me, Virgin.
Yeah,
It's good news.
It is good news. It is good news. You are definitely an inspiration for us all.
We try to be. Give thanks.
Keep up the good work, my brother.
We're just trying to serve.
Well, you're doing well. You're doing well. You're one of the ones on the list. Peter, no, front of the line.
We try.
No, but you're doing well, man.
Give thanks.
Big up, man.
Big up.
Respect. There you have it, folks. Another wonderful reasoning with Mr. Jason Downer, co-founder of Mogava, and a whole lot of other stuff. I mean, the man is just really cool, right? My favorite word, amazing. Well, come back and take a look at our other reasonings. And don't forget, spread the word on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just look for Good News Jamaica. Spread the word, tell all your friends, and we will be back with our next reasoning.